Hello and welcome to Geno's Gizmos. So I've got these fence post corner tops. They're tops off of chain link fence corner posts. So this would go over the post. This would be the top bar for the two meeting fences. And I looked at those and said, that looks like a fire hydrant, or it could. So this one's got damage to it. It's actually split, almost split there. So I'm not going to use it, but I've started this one where all these imperfections I'm going to take off. So I've started that. I put it to a grinder and I'm going to hit it with a few files, and we're going to continue to file that down until it's smooth and see what it looks like. And we'll come up with a way to cover the ends, make them look like the plugs off of a fire hydrant, and then we'll put something up here that makes it look like the what do you call it, spindle, the crank, the part that you turn that opens the valve. And we'll paint them bright red, and those will go in the flower garden. I'm thinking that these would be great with some gnomes or some statues of dogs, that type of thing. So that's what this video is about. So doing a little looking around, see if I can find something that I can use for a cover, like a cap that would be used on a fire hydrant. I have all of these old prescription bottles. So the lids are almost perfect. I think I can flatten out the inside just a little bit more, and then we can super glue that right on there. Super glue that right on there. So we're part way there. That one had a dog hair in it. Part way there. Find out what I can put on here to make it look like a spot to put your wrench, and go from there. Well, I was thinking of just gluing something on the top there, but I got to digging around and I found these 2-inch quarter 20 bolts, hex head on there. That hex head would look good on the end of that. We'll grind off the markings on the end. We'll put a fender washer on there. We'll drill a hole straight through. We'll drill that hole all the way through into the inside of this, and we'll put a washer and a nut, a nylock nut on the inside, and we'll just lock all that together. That should take care of that. Now I just need to come up with something there. So my thought was, let's take a 1/2-inch bolt. That's got a pretty good size head on it. And we'll drill a hole through there and put that right in there. I don't think I want to use this great big bolt. I'll use a short one. And we'll just put a nut on the inside, tighten that down, and take care of that. That's just about right to go all the way through, but I don't need anything going all the way through. I just need it to go through here and we can tighten it down. So let me get back on the hunt for the right size. All right, the 3/8 looks to be a better size for this. It's not as bulky as that 1/2 inch would have been. So we'll drill a hole for this 3/8 bolt. We'll put the washer on. We'll put the nut underneath, tighten it all down. That'll take care of that. So I'm going to start by installing this. And this might be a little long, so I might cut that off. That's just way too long, and I don't have any shorter. So pretty easy to cut off. Give myself less bolt to have to worry about. Cut that off. We'll drill the hole there. We'll drill a hole here, drill a hole here. All right, chop that off using a cut-off wheel. You leave the a nut on there. And you can use that nut to help thread or check your thread. So if the threads aren't very good, we're going to go back and fix them. In this case, I seem to have an issue. So we're going to go back and actually file that out some more. Get the threads cleaned up a little better on the end there. And then see if we can use it. All right, so I've taken a pippin file to those threads and cleaned them out. And our bolt works good now, our nut works good. So that's going to go there. Washer, nut on the inside. Moving on. These will barely fit through there. Actually, they might fit through there perfect. We'll get the holes drilled and we'll figure out whether those are going to fit through there right or not. So that's the next step, drilling all the holes. Oh my goodness. Just blew a hole right through there. Let me get my light. Not a bright light, but still. Yeah, you can see the hole. You can if the light's working. Blew a hole right through it. That means I don't have to drill it. Definitely need to put another fender washer on the inside though. So this side may be just as thin because when I used the spring loader center punch, it left a divot. It appears that it's not as thin, so we'll go ahead and drill that one out. Grab the right side drill bit. So as our bolt is 1/4 inch, I'm going to go up to a 9/32, which is a little bit bigger than the 1/4 inch, and we'll drill this hole. Look at that. That is very thin. Blew that hole right through there in a hurry. So, I have a bad chuck on this DeWalt. This is the second one on here. And instead of messing around with getting a chuck, I just got a new drill. I use a different brand altogether now. So let's go ahead and drill this hole. We'll do another one over here. Now, if you don't have a strong grip, don't do what I just did, because it could get away from you. And if it was something metal, you definitely don't want to hold on to it because it'll definitely get away from you. But it's plastic, it drills really easy. Hang on tight. There you go. So now it's time to assemble this, and that's what we're going to do. Let's put the cap on as straight as possible. Push this through the hole. I don't know if we can see down in there or not. And I'm gonna have to come up with a longer bolt, just too short for those nylocks to fit on. So we're gonna come up with a slightly longer 1/4 bolt. All right, we're gonna do the final assembly, I hope, here. So I need to knock off some of that metal inside there that happened when that blew out. And I'm just going to take a flat blade screwdriver and stick in there and chip it out. There we go. Alright, we'll put this cap back on. Straight as we can. I'll stick the bolt through. And I don't think I got this thing long enough yet. I'll put a flat washer in there. Then we're going to put a flat, not a nylock nut on here, and my fingers may not be long enough, but maybe they are. There we go. Just barely long enough. Okay. So let's see if we can tighten this down square. To do that, I'm going to stick a 7/16 inch socket inside. Just lock on my adjustable on the outside. Tighten down. Tighten this down. Hopefully it'll pull this on straight. And it doesn't appear to want to be, so we're going to back that up. Boy, that just wants to go crooked, crooked, crooked. All right. What I'm thinking I need to do is I need to possibly glue those caps on first. Let's see if I can slowly tighten this and keep it straight at the same time. Yeah, I think if I go slow here, I'm going to get it to look pretty good. Well, thought I would. Let's see what happens if I get the rubber mallet out. That's making it worse. Alrighty. Let's take that off out of the way. Let's see what we can do about making this fit on there. So there's two ways I can do this. I can try to force that in there, or I can take some metal off. So what's happening is there are threads on the inside for the prescription bottle that this is supposed to go on. I think if I could take and clean out those threads a little bit, make that sit a little flatter in there, I think this will work. So there you go, that's my next step. See if I can make that work flatter in there. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it. That fits on there flat now. There's a ridge here in the bottom. I don't know if you can see it there. There's a ridge there. Now with the threads out of the way, that fits flat against this part. So now we can bolt that together. I'm going to finish this one up here, get it ready to go, and that'll make us ready for assembly again. All right, time for assembly again. Let's see what we can do here to make this work. This one here, I'm just going to put the flat screw on, a flat washer, not a fender washer. And my fingers are almost too short. Same here, fender washer on the outside. That's on there pretty darn flat. I'm going to put a fender washer on this. I don't know how well I can tighten it down, but I'm going to put a fender washer on this just because of that hole that got poked through there is so big. And then we're going to put our flat bolt in there, our flat nut. If I can get my finger in there far enough. Well, it's threaded on. Let's see if we can get it to go straight this time. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's cracking on the inside. If I hadn't put that fender washer on there, I think it would pull all the way through. I think I still run a bead of CA glue around there to hold that on there. Let's tighten up this other one. Sure doesn't feel like I have enough hands. For those of you wanting to know, proper size is a 7/16 inch wrench. Do I have one? I do. It's out in my truck. I don't want to go get it. All right. So there's our two valve or spigot covers. We still need to put that there with a nut and a washer on the inside. And let's hope that that's thicker than the rest of it. So I need to come up with I'm going to drill a pilot hole first, and then I'll probably use a step drill to go through here. So let me find the pilot drill. Find the center of this thing. Looks to be right about there. All right, pilot drill. Here we go. All right. Get some of our stuff out of the way here. I'm going to find my step drill I want to use. Couldn't find my step drill. If you look over there, looks like I left it hanging in the drill press. So I've retrieved my step drill. Now I'm going to hang on really tight to this, and I don't normally recommend that people do this freehand, but we're going to. So if you look, you can see that that is not very thick metal in there. We are big enough for that. So we're going to put the washer on it and put the nut on it. Now, my fingers are definitely not long enough to get down in there. So I'm going to have to get out the needle nose and a deep well socket to do this. So I'm going to drop that washer down in there, get it lined up with the hole. Then I'm going to put my bolt through so it's on the washer's on it also. I'm going to take this nut attached to my pliers, which are almost too long. I can just barely get my big finger on that. Getting it started is not as easy as you would think. And the reason is because that nut, or because that bolt is the one that I cut off. All right, I'm going to set that shortened bolt aside. I'm going to get a regular bolt out that's not been cut. I'm going to drop that washer down in there like I did before. I'm going to put that bolt right through both holes. I'm going to stand it up there. I'm going to take my pliers. Grab a hold as straight as possible. Line the two up, screw it together. My finger just barely touches the top of it. I'm going to use this deep well socket with an extension. 9/16. Set the adjustable wrench on there. Again, this would be a 9/16 on this one. And we're going to tighten it down. So off camera, I ground down the heads of these bolts that I forgot to do before. Took off all the markings, the manufacturer's markings off of there. And I'm ready for the next coat of paint. And we're going to go with a bright red. So this is a fast drying paint. We're going to let that dry for about 15 minutes and come back and give it another coat. And the finished product. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment and smash that like button. Thanks for watching. There you have it.